evening, everyone. The highlights of the news this Thursday. Traffic accidents. A Beaver County man is being held for murder. And more labor.
I'm Tim Ellison. Thanks for joining us for Laneway Live. Tonight's special guest is known by many names. David Copperart, Magic Tony, Luigi Zucchini, but we call him Anthony DeMasi.
Hi, Tim.
Hello, Anthony. You are ensconced in the magic school of confidence over there.
I am. I'm here at the school, hanging out and looking forward to having a chat with you.
So tell me, before we go any further, how has the coronavirus impacted you? Obviously, all your work's been cancelled.
That's right. Yeah, all my work's been cancelled for the next at least 2 to 3 months, and then all of the school has closed down. So I decided last week to close the magic school just until this all settles and everyone is feeling well. So for the safety of the students and the community, it was a tough decision, but I made the decision to close down the school for this just until the coronavirus passes through.
And do you think you're going to be doing any sort of tuition over the internet?
I'm considering doing that. Yeah, so it's something that I'm quite interested to discover. It's something that I haven't done before. I've created little instructional videos for my students. But to actually do something where they can tune in each week or every couple of days and learn some new magic and get some mentoring, I think it's something that I'm very excited to be able to look into and offer.
Well, thank goodness for the internet, because if this happened 20 or 30 years ago, we'd all be sitting looking at books.
That's right. Speaking of books, we've got lots of books here at the school if anyone wants to
read any books. I don't think you're going to be bored there, are you?
No, it is really, a lot of people that walk into the magic school consider it my man cave, so to speak. But I always do say, no, it's part of my work, and it kind of ultimately is a man cave. It's got all my things that I love about magic, and yeah, it's also something that I can share with other people that are interested in magic. I've got a lot of things that are also sort of older style magic props that a lot of students haven't seen that type of magic before, which I think they always get quite excited to say, oh, what does that do? And I can tell them, hopefully, I normally know what most props do. There are a couple that I'm still learning about.
I was sorry to interrupt you before, but the pinball machines.
Oh, can you see them in the background?
Yes.
They always look much nicer when they're lit up. So I did switch them on, but we'll turn them off unless I'm playing them to conserve energy.
So how many?
But they're in the back. I think I've kind of lost count, but I think I have 11 pinball machines.
And of course, Theatre of Magic.
Theatre of Magic is just here. I'll just show you. It's my actual favorite machine. So it's just sort of taken place right over here. It's a bit difficult to see with the lighting, but it is a very, very amazing game. Yeah, so Theatre of Magic is a beauty as well.
Wow. So you started collecting the pinball machines a couple of years ago, didn't you?
Yeah, I actually started collecting pinball machines pretty much after my dad passed away. I kind of had a lot of time to think about life and things, and I sort of thought, well, I've always invested all of my time in magic, which I love, but I've never really had any hobbies. So I thought, look, it's a really good time to like embrace that idea of having other interests in life and finding other things. And I think it's also opened up my mind to discovering new things. You know, I'm learning a little bit more about electronics. I've made a new kind of circle of friendships in the pinball community, which has been fun. I've learned how to fix pinballs to some extent. You know, how to order parts, and it's just great. You know, it opens your mind to something that's a little bit different, and I've enjoyed that. So yeah.
You've also got a good collection of posters, haven't you?
I've been lucky. Chuck Fain has given me some very beautiful posters of Ricky J. And then also just really wonderful friends over the years that when I've been able to travel, when I've been lucky to travel around the world, I've been to some different shows. So sort of behind me here, I have a collection of some lovely posters. Some of them are from, you know, the 90s, back in the day when Siegfried and Roy were in Las Vegas, and Lance Burden behind me there. And then Leon Gill, very close friend of ours, mutual friend. Ross Skiffington, and there's also a poster here which I love. I absolutely adore this poster. It's from the time when the Ultimate Magic at the Palais Theatre. I don't know if you can see that. It's just up there. And got all you guys up there: Doug Tremlett, Sam Angelico, Terry Danzig, Tim Ellis, Duck Cameron, Ricky Osmo, Ray Crow, Harry Who Didn't, and Super Hubert. Or Herbert, yeah, the magician, who was my favourite. Yeah, Super Hubert. But yeah, so many great Australian magicians in one poster, all working in a big show. And that was put together by you, Tim, Magic Unlimited, at the time for Magic Week. So it's lovely. I love sharing that with a lot of my students, because I like telling them that, you know, Magic's, you know, had so many great times. And I think, you know, we've got Magic Festival, which has been running for, is it 11 years now?
This would have been the 13th year if we do decide to go ahead. 13
years, wow. Okay, I think maybe I've performed in them for 11 years, maybe. I think that's where I got that number from. But it's just, it's wonderful.
Magic Week that you were talking about there, that went for 9 years in the 80s.
No, okay. And also when you look at that poster, so many of the great magicians of that time are still working and still like doing amazing shows and, you know, traveling the world. And it's just wonderful. I love that.
I think you've got a Levant poster. Didn't you get one?
That's right. Yep. That's being framed at the moment. So I'm very fortunate to receive some beautiful posters from a collection. And, you know, that was all held in Australia, which was a wonderful thing. So all of those posters, thanks to, you know, the magicians in Sydney, they really wanted to keep all of those posters, the history of magic in Australia, here in Australia. So we were very fortunate to bid on those. And so they're being framed. I've had to take out a small loan to get them linen backed. And they'll be on display at the school very, very soon.
Fantastic. Now, also, in keeping with that history of magic, you are keeping the history of magic going there by having lectures at the Magic School of Confidence. How many lectures have you had now?
Oh, gosh. I haven't really fully counted the number of lectures, but I'd probably say I think we've at least had close to maybe over 10. Maybe less than 15. So I would say maybe, I think about 12 lectures in total. At least.
What, Dan Harlan? Who else?
Kaylin Morelli.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, the names they're just
putting you on the spot now, aren't I?
Yeah, you have. We've had Barry Govan, Guy Ragoon from New Caledonia, and then in terms of international magicians, we even had Danny Daotes. That was
amazing, wasn't it? It was packed.
It was just one of the most spellbinding nights ever. It was just incredible to see that many magicians. All the chairs just kept getting closer and closer and closer to him as he just kept working. We had Shane Cabalt as well come in and do a lecture here and workshops at the school. It's been amazing.
And now you've got your students, of course, adults and kids.
That's right. So we run classes during the week after school, and then also adult classes once a week, which is classes, I call it the grown-up magic night. So it's just grown-ups learning magic and loving magic. And it's been one of the most exciting things to teach magic to people that have either had an interest in magic since they were little but never actually had a chance to pursue it, based on the fact that they've gone down the path of having a real job, the reality of life, which for magicians now is the reality. We don't really, when 99.9% of us are unemployed, so we don't really have a job. But yeah, I think it's just really lovely to share some magic with those people, and they really, really love it. And I think that also when it comes to sharing secrets, all of the students that come to the school really embrace that idea, probably more than magicians do. And because they really appreciate the fact that they're having an opportunity to learn the art. And I think just the other thing too is they really put a lot of time and energy into learning and really making sure that they can do the tricks well. And that's always a really nice thing when you see someone go home and after 4 or 5 weeks learn how to do the 3-rope trick really, really nicely, and they're very proud of themselves. So that's good fun. I love it.
And now, of course, with the coronavirus, magicians do have a big advantage. We're very good at washing our hands.
Oh, Tim, let me tell you about it. Look, I'm just here. I've been practically washing my hands every moment I get a chance. It's just important to. I've been very busy washing all of my hands here at the school. As you can see, it's been busy times. I've got a lot of hands, and busy times, Tim.
So many hands, so many hands.
I get time on my hands to wash them.
They're not your new hands, are they?
No, these ones are secondhand.
So this is actually very much like Kids WB now, because you're so used to doing magic on TV, aren't you? How long were you a resident magician on Kids WB?
10 years. My hands are clean. 10 years working on Kids WB. We had lots of hosts go through the show over that time. But yeah, it was amazing experience to work on TV. I never thought I'd get that opportunity as a magician to be able to perform magic on TV. It was so much fun. I loved it.
You've also done stage now with the Barnum?
Barnum, I mean, the last couple of years, I've also been very fortunate to work as a magic consultant, and that's taken me in a different path, a different direction in my magic work. Been able to work with amazing people in the theatre and movies and film and comedy, working with comedians as a magic consultant, helping them add some magic to their performance. Yeah, I love it. It's so exciting to be able to read somebody's script or work with the producer director and throw some ideas at them. Often, the one thing that I really think is wonderful is magicians have a great imagination, and often because we're not working commercially as such in a workplace where you have to sort of be a little bit more reserved or conservative, or you're a bit worried about expressing your opinion or ideas. A magician can just basically say what we think, and it's great. It's amazing seeing eyes light up when you say, "Oh, how about we could potentially do this," and they say, "Wow, that sounds like a great idea. Okay, tell me more." So yeah, it's a really great opportunity to express your knowledge, and also even if you don't know how to do the illusion as such. That's one thing about the magic community is so wonderful. There are so many brains out there, and there are so many magicians that are just really keen to share their knowledge. There are books and DVDs and people that are like my mentor Chuck, that have been in the business for 70 years, seen a lot of things, have done a lot of amazing things, and you can learn from all of those people, as I do.
Yeah, and you're passing that knowledge on to an extent with the school, and also your new show that you've been doing, the School of Wizardry.
School of Wizardry. That's also another thing that happened by magic, so to speak. But it was something that it just fitted into place. It was the little piece of the jigsaw puzzle for me. I just got an email. Oh, it's a job. No, it's not. Cancel. So yeah, it was another piece of the jigsaw puzzle that just fitted into place in terms of where my career is progressing. For many years, as a great friend that you are, and also producer of the Magic Festival, you've always said to me, do a show with a storyline. And every year I've said, yeah, sure, Tim, I'm going to make a show with a storyline. And every year, Magic Festival comes up, and I end up doing an impro, all everything out of the box. You
And
know,
why is this?
made,
Because you're
made up
you're too
routine,
busy working. You've got too many shows on.
probably.
How many
So,
shows would you do a week in the old days before the virus?
look, back in the old days, you know, if I was lucky, I would do 4 shows on a Saturday, probably 4 on a Sunday, and maybe 2 on a Friday night, and a couple during the week. So, you know, it could
That's
up
great.
to 12.
No wonder you
12
didn't
or
have time to rehearse.
no time. So yeah, and I think one of the things about the School of Wizardry show that I really think is just wonderful as an example to teach my students here at the school is it's something that I myself as an entertainer, as a performer, have only discovered after 25 years of being in the business. And it's just through running the school and meeting lots of different people, is that there is a formula to everything. And there's no use fighting the formulas. You have to work with the formula. Now, sometimes a formula will take a long time to discover. Sometimes if you ask for help, you can get the formula quicker. But in general, the formula has to fit into place. So with the School of Wizardry, it's a formula show. It works so well because we have a beautiful set. We have great graphics to advertise the show, promotion. We have great costumes, storyline, the setting. We've got crew that help us with it. It all all the bits of the jigsaw puzzle fit into place. As opposed to many years ago when I would do shopping centre shows, you know, I'd be there, hours before the show, knocking a backdrop together and trying to connect my sound system and doing all of those things and not really being able to do what I do best, which is my show. So yeah, I think that the School of Wizardry show has been successful for the fact that I finally allowed the formula to take place and worked with the formula as opposed to fighting it. But also working with great magicians, you know, I've been working with Gali and also with Claire in Sydney. It's been fabulous just to work with another magician and do a show as a, collaboration, as a, with a co-created show. Yeah, it's really fun.
So now that we've got downtime, forced rehearsal time, you'll obviously be getting into a bit more rehearsal and creating some more shows and playing with your bunnies as well, so looking after the rabbits.
Patting my rabbits. Tim, let me tell you what I've been up to. Besides washing my hands all the time, finally made a list. Yep. So I've been planting seedlings. So I decided to start up a garden. I also haven't been able to watch any DVD.
How long's the garden going to take to grow? Because I don't think there's much going on in it yet.
Not a lot, no. I did plant seeds though, so they will sprout hopefully soon. And I've also put some seedlings in broccolini, spinach, all the good stuff.
All the stuff you need when the supermarkets go dry.
That's right. Good food, healthy food.
Yes.
The other thing, I haven't been able to watch any DVDs for a long time for the fact that most, Mac computers these days don't have the CD drive, the DVD drive. And I haven't really connected. So I'm connecting up a big screen here at the school to watch a lot of DVDs.
Yeah.
What else are you doing? Let me show you. Also, finally, I have time to fix my breakaway wand. So I'm going to glue that back together, which is driving me crazy. Creativity, finally.
You're thinking.
Yes. A chance to be creative and just, I don't know, not be sort of, running around and having a set structure. It's just going to give me a chance to be a really creative magician and come up with some ideas, maybe invent a couple of new routines. What else have I been doing? Oh yeah, cleaning as well. I've been dusting everything at the school, cleaning everything up. So that's been keeping me busy here.
Yeah.
Piano accordion. I'm going to start learning how to play this. So God knows. I'm glad that there is a little bit of self-isolation because if you've heard me play this, you wouldn't want to be around me anyway. So anyway.
I don't think we'll need to do self-isolation. I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, no, I'll be okay. I've got lots of things to work on.
Is that one other thing that you're... What's this? I think, all right, okay. I'm thinking, right, I've got one. Close.
I don't know. I have no idea how he does that, all that stuff. That was a bit lax, to be honest.
So that's your new project, the new Anthony DeMasi Instant Magic web channel.
With my headphones on.
Headphones on. I don't know why they have their headphones on. So obviously you're going to be able to get some. I mean, there's got to be something magicians can do to sort of work within the new confines, within the new rules of the world at the moment. I think, you know, doing virtual shows and offering, you know, shows to you could do birthday parties via the internet. You know, people are stuck at home celebrating their birthdays. They can have a visit from Luigi Zucchini via the web.
It's a great idea. I mean, yeah, I mean, anything's possible, really. I think that's the one thing about being human is that we're so adaptable. Ultimately, we have to try, you know, to adapt to things. I think that's what we have done for centuries, ever since the beginning. And I think it's important just to realize that, you know, there's all different ways to think about it. It's obviously from a financial perspective, that's very, very difficult, especially for a lot of artists that are, you know, either in debt or, you know, living, you know, show by show. But I think that the one thing that is really important is that there are so many amazing people in the magic world and in the entertainment world. And, you know, it's important, I think, for if people are struggling to really ask for help and, you know, share their emotions, share how they feel. And I know that there are enough good people out there that are willing to help if they can. And I'm one of those people, you know, and I'd hope that, you know, if I'm in the same position, that people would make a bit of energy to help me as well. Yeah.
Well, I know that you have been checking in a lot of the older people who are at risk, haven't you?
Yeah, there are a few of my really close friends and also just people in my community that come past my magic school and drop in, and often I'll make them a cup of tea or have a chat with them and just share some part of a good energy for their day. There's one lady that walks past and she actually thinks that I'm a real magician. So she often asks me for good luck charms. So I always have a couple of little things to produce from behind her ear or from flash paper. And she just leaves beaming with joy and happiness, because she really thinks that when she walks past my school that she's just seen the wizard. And I, you know, dropped in to see that she was okay. I haven't seen her for a couple of weeks. Of course, not close by because it is a nursing home. So from a sense, you know, just taking precautions and being smart about it. But yeah, I think it's really important, especially for the younger generation, just to really think about, you know, our elders and the people who have really helped us and who've really helped shape Australia, and we need to just really look after them. I think they're very important.
In the background, I mean, I'm always stunned by your generosity and your caring about other people. But I did hear in the background your doves, who you are caring for at the moment, and I know that you have had a lot of interesting experiences being a dove magician. And I think I can tell by your face, you know what I'm heading for here.
Oh, Tim, I don't think I can tell a story as well as Simon Coronel wrote about it. So a couple of years ago, Simon...
We'll put the link down there so people can find it.
I think that's probably the best thing to do. And I know that David Jones probably could tell the story, but he probably never wants to remember what happened. But all I can remember, well, what I can say is it would happen at Cooper's Inn, part of a magic night, and it was pretty much when magic goes wrong. It all went terribly wrong, and it was an act involving one of my doves, Peppy, and it was quite a bizarre and really funny experience, but
Let's
not
say
for
no
Dave.
more. We'll let the viewers go to Simon's blog and read the story in his words, because he does tell it well.
Here he is. He's just having something to eat.
Ah,
It's a little fella.
there he is.
That's not the one. There he goes. He just rolls up there. There he is.
He sounded so real a few minutes ago. Oh, there he is. Hey!
Say hello to Tim. There he is.
Hello?
He's
not
okay.
talkative as my parrots.
He's not really that concerned about the coronavirus. He just got over the bird flu.
Are you going to have a chance to at least work on your escape act?
Oh, yes, Tim. All my escape magic is coming along very well. I'm actually, you've just reminded me, I've actually got to go and pick up the doona at the dry cleaners.
For those who would never, like all the Magic Festival fans remember Anthony's infamous escape that he did on the stage gala a few years ago, where you were tied up in rope, put into a doona bag.
Yes.
Then you were tempted.
And chains. There were chains as well.
Oh, yeah, of course, chains. You could have done it easily with rope, but the chains were made it much harder. So you were tied up. You were closing Act 1, weren't you?
I think so, yes.
And
somehow I decided to do the escape with an introduction, and the introduction required the use of a headset mic. So what I didn't realize when I performed this was that now, as I was trying to escape from the shackles and the rope, that the microphone was now tangled, and if I pulled too much, I would rip the microphone and snap the cable. So I was very carefully and I shall say very carefully and very slowly trying to escape from the ropes without breaking the microphone. So let's just say it was a very long escape, extended time.
But it did go into interval, didn't it? You were still in chains.
It did. I think people did go out and get popcorn and drinks and finish those and come back, and I was still escaping, yes. Yeah.
Slowest
I should show you a couple of things here.
Okay, yeah.
So just inside this cabinet, was my favorite top hat. It was made in 1920, I believe, for the Paris Expo. There's the hat box that it comes in, and some escapology cuffs and things like that. Very cool.
Don't put them on, whatever you do.
Tomaton. So yeah, I just I need to work on that escape. I'm glad you mentioned it. Thanks, Tim.
I couldn't resist. Well, look, we're going to wrap it up, but I'd love to invite you back next week to maybe teach some tricks, because we do have a lot of kids now who are sitting at home. School holidays officially starts early in Australia next week, so kids will be sitting around with nothing to do. Parents will be bored out of their mind. Would it be possible to have you come back and do like a little tease, a little sample of the Magic School of Confidence exclusively for our Laneway viewers?
I would love that. That'd be great. I'll have quite a few tricks up my sleeves, and I'd love to teach the kids at home some magic, safe magic.
That's something fantastic to look forward to. It's been a pleasure chatting to you, visiting the Magic School of Confidence virtually, way over there in Malvern, so far away from Northcote. Yes, it is. We're keeping that 1.5 metre distance off each other. Absolutely. But it's great. It's great to see you as always, Tim. And just lastly, before I go, also, I mentioned a lot of great people that have helped me with my magic, and you are one of them. I'm very grateful. I just want to also thank you as well for all your support over the years in magic, and to many magicians, hundreds of magicians in Australia and internationally. Well, you're a great man. Thank you. Let's just hope that we can get through this and come out stronger at the other end. Yes, hopefully we're all feeling a little greater. And on that note, bye-bye. Bye, Tim.